We need to talk, as this episode we will not be doing one lap of the free practice session, so we'll get the car's info from qualifying, see whether it feels good or not this episode. But however, I have a feeling, because in previous career modes I've always been fast around Saudi Arabia, and I think we can go for a race win here.
On the calendar, but let's see who will be fastest of them all. We're about to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's qualifying.
So after qualifying, after Q1, we are third fastest, with the drivers knocked out in Q1 are Logan Sargent, Daniel Ricciardo, Nico Hulkenberg, Joe Guan Yu and Alexander Albon. Let's see who gets knocked out in Q2. The drivers knocked out in Q2 are Hamilton, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas and Kevin Magnussen, as we went fastest in Q2, delivering a beautiful lap onto Q3, who will get pole position. With Q2 over, we got pole position, so here was the qualifying lap.
Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done.
Grabbing pole position. Now is the next step for the big race.
Good morning, good afternoon, or for us, good evening, as we're under the night lights of Jeddah. The floodlights are on and so is the pressure here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Stroll, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Albon, Joe, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo and Logan Sargent. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. I don't want to, but we should look at their recent performances, and I think poor is a universal word to describe them.
It's hard to say sometimes, and it's hard to accept yourself as well. It's easy to go blaming other circumstances as to why your driver rating might have slipped, but it's time for a reset. You got to get back to where you were. You know you can do it. You've proven it in the past. So now it's time to make that happen.
After a pretty nice pole position and a lap which can show what I can do, let's get on with the race. 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Lando Norris gets a good start ahead of Max Verstappen. Verstappen faces pressure from Sergio Perez, but Norris gets a good start. We go on to a replay of us driving the MCL38, which is lovely. But oh, there's a spin from Lando Norris. Oh, and there's contact between Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. Norris has spun again. I have once again thought enter the pit lane now, and it seems like McLaren are double stacking. Lando Norris is going to be held up in the pit lane, as you can see him just sitting there waiting. We are so desperate to get on with this race. Once again, we've bottled it and potentially bottled some big points. Throughout that flying lap, we were flying after the safety car went in the pit lane, and we caught up to the back of Russell and Bottas a couple laps later. Here is our pursuit of them.
Good job, nice overtake.
Here we are now chasing Charles Leclerc for P4 to try and equal the best result of the season. And yeah, it's just pretty much now it's catching up. But here we are now against Hulkenberg as we get squeezed to the wall. But we go around the outside of the Haas F1 driver. It was never in question, was it? We get ahead of Hulkenberg. Here we are now on lap 11, 10, and we are going around the outside of Fernando Alonso in the fight for that race lead. And as you can see, we want this win. We have the pace, we have the car to do it. The cars felt so good and all that. We get on to the penultimate lap, and Lando Norris goes swinging it around the outside of Oscar Piastri. Brilliant stuff there from the Brits. And we move up into the lead of the race. The final lap of this beautiful, magnificent Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. This is it. Can we win for the first time in Formula One?
to their garage before the race, a race that was meant to be about Max Verstappen. But here at the checkered flag, Norris trumps Verstappen and wins the
Saudi
Grand Prix and wins the Grand Prix for the first time in his career. Lando has landed.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category points during the race. I mean, what more can we say?
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
After that hectic race in Saudi Arabia, one thing I can proudly say is that we've got good pace, and I reckon in a Grand Prix where we're strong at, so say Silverstone, that we can absolutely dominate that Grand Prix. But however, in 2 days we will have the Australian Grand Prix.